Ben Marina, Hallmark Excavating, number 37, Menor Steve Hall. Outside of Hall in the MT Heat Treat, Spots Racing Products, number 8, Bill Sprague. Inside of row number 2, he is the current points leader. He is the current points leader here at the Speedway in the Sportsman division. The Universal Metal Products, number 1 of Fairport's Jimmy Cohagen. And outside of Cohagen, the Patton's Towing, Strutter Signs, number 4 of Illyria's Russ Stoutenberg. So as they come out of turn 4, we'll turn them loose. Very slow pace through 3 and 4. Holland Sprague bring them around. Green flag comes out. They touch going into 1. Hall sideways. Side by side off of turn 2 down the backstretch. Holland Sprague. Sprague trying to work the outside groove. Hall working about him. He has the advantage off at turn number 4. He'll lead him around for lap number 1. Gets tapped from behind by Jimmy Cohagen. Slides up the track. Cohagen will take over the lead. As Sprague in the 8 sideways slides to a stop in turn number 2. That'll bring out the caution flag with 1 lap in. Being instructed to remain side by side out of turn number 4. Flagman with the green flag in his hand. Green flag coming back out. Hall will take over the lead. Cohagen in that second groove falls back. Tries to get a run coming off the corner. Stoutenberg there on the bottom. 3 wide coming through 3 and 4. Hall working the outside. Stoutenberg right along the bottom. Gonna bring Cohagen right along with him. Hall goes from 1st to 3rd in 1 lap. Cohagen taps the 4. Stoutenberg in the rear as they come out of turn number 4. The white flag coming out. Coming down for the checkered flag. Russ Stoutenberg, followed by Jimmy Cohagen, the 8 of Bill Sprague, and the Poling definitely find the handle on the number 27, picking up the feature win last Saturday night, setting fast time tonight as they come out of 4 for the green. Bartlemy in the 22 with the lead out of turn 2 down the backstretch. Meyer and Willison side by side. Willison falling back in that second group. Halfway home, 2 laps have been completed. Meyer right on the rear nerf bar of Bartlemy as they come out of 2. One lap remaining as the white flag comes out. Bartlemy getting in the corners very, very fast. Meyer taking a look on the outside. Checkered flag coming out. It's John Bartlemy, followed by Doug Meyer, the 27 of Butch Poling. Gwynn, he is a former track record holder, one of the heavy hitters in the modified division. The Ernst Prunty owned Prunty Construction number 22, Lorain's John Bartlemy. 4 North Ridgeville's Rick Gretsch. Green flag coming out. Taylor and Rosem take him down the backstretch. Rosem up in that second groove, trying to hold tight. Volk unable to reel in 5 of Taylor. There, 2 laps have been completed. 2 laps remain. Taylor with about a 2-car length advantage. White flag coming out this time by. Checkered flag coming out. It's Norm Taylor, followed by Phil Rosem, the 30 of Brian Volk, and the 84 of... Picking up the dash win, the singular wireless Com1 wireless number 5 of Norm Taylor. Jason Fisher. McMahon in the 44 with the lead. Halfway home. 2 laps in, 2 laps remaining. McMahon in the 44 up front. Parker and Schaefer going at it for second. Parker in the 0, right up on the rear bumper of McMahon. Sideways coming off. It's going to be Dan McMahon, followed by Owen Parker. Checkered flag coming out this time. Dan McMahon, followed by Owen Parker, the 40 of Paul Schaefer, and the 18 of Jason Fisher. We'd like to welcome the folks from Raceway Stores here with us this evening in our Lorain County Clubhouse. Raceway Stores located inside Midway Mall for a very nice line of die-cast. Picking up the dash win, the team ASE number 44 of Napoleon's Dan McMahon. Sale Spectator stocks coming down the front stretch for their green flag. Sam Rubizny, Tim Gregory, Matt Demian, and Brian McCall in the 78. Rubizny in the 82 with the lead after lap 1. McCall in the 78 working the outside of Rubizny through 3 and 4. Side by side off of 2, McCall in the 78. One lap remaining, this time by. 3 laps have been completed, 1 lap remaining. McCall in the 78 hooked up this evening. Checkered flag coming out. It's Brian McCall, followed by Sam Rubizny. Matt Demian in the 87. The official photographer for our picking up the dash win in the American Auto Sales Spectator Stock Division, the Jones Auto Body Reed Salvage number 78 of Brian McCall. Green flag coming out as they come out of turn number 4. Allman in the 58 with the advantage going into turn 1. Sideways coming off of 2. Johnson slides up. They almost make contact. Allman will take the lead going into turn number 3. Martyr sideways. They make contact with the 89 of Kenny Bender. Martyr slid up the track making contact with Mark Smith and Kenny Bender. The field beginning to stretch out single file. Allman up front by himself. on the outside, trying to work his way around the 9 of Johnston. Allman up front, beginning to pull away. The 11 of Green works his way around on the 22 of Smith, taking a look on the inside of Johnson as they went down the front stretch. Strong out front. White flag coming out. 7 laps in, 1 lap remaining. The 22 of Smith and the 89 of Bender fighting it out for 3rd and 4th. Checkered flag coming out. It's Mark Allman, followed by Tom Klingon. The 22 of Mark Smith and the 89 of Kenny Bender coming home 4th. Picking up the checkered flag, driving from Miss Daisy in the Lucas Oil Products, number 58, Mark Allman. Distance, the field begins to pick up the pace out of 4. Green flag coming out. Very ragged start. Yellow flag coming back out. Coming around for the start. A lot nicer looking start as they come out of 4. The 37 of Steve Hall looping it in turn number 1. It'll bring out the caution flag once again. Coming around for the restart. Burkholder with the lead down the backstretch. The 7 of Bonema hanging tough up in the second groove. Slides up the track. Robertson able to take advantage. Burkholder, Robertson, Hall, your top 3. Sliding up the track. Cohagen in the 1 able to take advantage. Roberts in the 88 right on the rear bumper. Burkholder in the 33 now goes to the outside going into turn number 1. Roberts driving hard into turn number 3, trying to work his way around Burkholder. Cohagen in the 1, trying to work his way under for 2nd as they come out of turn number 4. Flag coming out this time by 1 lap remaining. Ron Burkholder, your leader. Cohagen in the 1, right on the rear bumper. Coming out of turn number 4 for the checkered flag, it's going to be Ron Burkholder, followed by Jimmy Cohagen, the 88 of Billy Roberts, and the 4 of Russ Stoutenberg. Picking up the heat race win in the Automotive Racing Connection, Buckeye Construction Integrity Homes, number 33, Concord's Ron Burkholder. 9, Perfection Fabricators, entry of Stacy Gherkin. And outside of Gherkin, the 0-1, a Reed salvage of Troy Barnes. Gherkin taking a look inside a page to try to take over third. Gherkin makes a hole, finds his way through. He'll take over third place. Now sets his sights on the 66 of Petrie. Completed, 4 laps remain. Hennig's in the 40, up front. Petrie and Gherkin trying to work their way around. Gherkin pulls up alongside of Petrie. Once again pulls out about 2-car length advantage going into 3. Gherkin and Petrie side by side as the white flag comes out. 1 lap remaining. Now Gherkin going to work on the 40 of Hennigs. Drives it hard into turn 3. Tries to pull up alongside. Checkered flag coming out. It's going to be Kurt Hennigs, followed by the 99 of Stacy Gherkin and the 66 of Bill Petrie. Put your hands together for him, the tire man, B&D Towing, number 40 of Kurt Hennigs. Once again, we'd like to welcome the fine folks from Raceway Stores with us here Saturday night as first of the season. Green flag coming out. Coming together in the rear of the field, the 22 of Bartlemy sliding into the infield and rolling to a stop. That'll bring out the caution flag. One lap has been completed. Coming down for the restart, 1 lap's been completed. Siblin, the 63, leading him down the backstretch. The 31 of Meyer right on his rear Nerf bars. They come out of 4. Meyer slides up the track. Willison in the 34 tries to keep it out of the front stretch wall. There, 4 laps have been completed. This time by it'll be the white flag. 7 laps in, 1 lap remaining. The field stretched out, single file. Meyer unable to reel in the 63 of Sibla. Checkered flag for Rick Sibla, followed by Doug Meyer in the 34 of Mark Willison. Sales Mountain Motors number 63 of Massillon's Rick Sibla. Sibla, third generation driver. Cowboy Bobby Johnson in the rear of the field, the number 34. Coming down for the green flag. Carl with the lead. Sandquist in the 66 will move into second. Taking a look underneath the Carl. He snuck him coming out of turn number 4. Wiggins in the 24 is going to come right along with him. Carl in the 9 caught on the outside at the halfway point. 4 laps in, 4 laps remaining. The 24 Wiggins looks to the outside, trying to work his way around the 66 of Sandquist. White flag coming out. 1 lap remaining. Checkered flag coming out. It's John Sandquist, followed by the 24 of Jeremy Wiggins and the 25 of Paul. The Duffy's Body Shop, Wirtz Towing, Airport, Chevrolet number 66 of John Sandquist. And the 30 of Brian Volk. Green flag coming out. The 86 of Cypher. A bad start as the caution flag coming out. Green flag coming out. Lawson in the 53 will lead him for lap number 1. In the 32 of Rosem. Gretsch in the 84 already up to 4th place. Rosem in the 32 trying to work his way under Allen in the 02. Gretsch is going to come right along with him. Rosem sideways coming out of 4. The field stretching out single file. Gretsch in the 84 loosened up the 32 of Rosem as they come out of turn number 2. Rosem taking a look inside. Lawson slams the door. Rosem looking inside once again, has to back out. Gretsch goes to the outside. Side by side for second as they get on the backstretch. Gretsch working the outside groove. Lawson in the 53, still up front as the white flag comes out. Lawson, Rosem, and Gretsch. Now Rosem goes to the outside, coming down for the checkered flag. It's going to be Mike Lawson, followed by Phil Rosem and the 84 of Rick Gretsch. The Zachary Motor Sales, number 53 of Grafton's Mike Lawson. 8 laps the distance. They begin to pick up the pace as they come out of turn number 4. Wide coming out of turn number 4. Jim Fortney up front. Dolan in the 43 moves into second as a 116, looping it. Flag coming out for the 0-2 of Frank Flynn. Flynn showing a lot of smoke out of the 0-2. Jim Fortney in the 99 up high. Your new leader, the 43 of Mike Dolan. Don Bates in the 4, working the second groove, trying to work his way around. De La Garza in the 0-3, right inside. 4 cars up front going at it as they come out of 4. Dolan, Bates, De La Garza, and Johnson. Dolan slides up the racetrack. They make contact coming out of turn number 4. Don Bates in the 4. Trying to take over the lead. Bates up into the 3rd groove as he pushes up the speedway. Gets a run coming off of turn number 2 with the advantage. White flag coming out this time by 1 lap remaining. Still side by side down the backstretch. Coming up for the checkered flag. Dolan slides up the racetrack. De La Garza in a 0-3, looks underneath. Checkered flag coming out. It's Don Bates, followed by the 0-3 of Bob De La Garza, and coming home 3rd across the line sideways, the 43 of Mike Dolan. Win in the Burbank Auto Salvage, number 4, Don Bates. Of Rick Perchnicki, the 14 of Joe Pugh, and the 71 of Scott McAbeer. Green flag coming out. Newman in the 67 with the lead. The man on the move's the 0-7 of Perchnicki. Perchnicki in that 2nd groove. For the 21, moves under the 124 of Eckliff to take over second. Eckliff sideways through 1 and 2, able to keep a handle on it. Newman still continuing to lead. Halfway home, 4 laps complete. Three wide going into turn number 3 as Joe Pugh in the 14 diving into turn number 3. Newman in the 67 continuing to lead, followed by Pfeiffer and Sears. They make contact coming out of turn number 4. Some debris loose off of one of the automobiles, making its way up high in turn number 1. White flag coming out this time by 1 lap remaining. The fight for second heating up between Steve Sears and Bobby Pfeiffer. Pugh in the 14 trying to sneak under for third as a checkered comes out. It's John Newman followed by Steve Sears. The 14 of Joe Pugh and the 21 of Bobby Pfeiffer. Race win, the Logston & Sons Basement Waterproofing Vermilion Paving, number 67 of John Newman. Bowen Parker, the 18 of Jason Fisher, and the 40 of Paul Schaefer. McMahon in the 45 with the lead. The 17 of Reuter off of turn number 4, up high. Something possibly letting go. Green flag coming out. McMahon and Dressler up front. The 73 of Marlowe up in the third groove in the rear of the field. McMahon working the bottom side of the track, and when they come out of turn number 4, Dressler up high. Colburn in the 8 right behind. They make contact going into turn number 1. McMahon in the 45 with the lead. Coming down for the halfway point. 4 laps have been completed. The field stretches out single file. McMahon, Colburn, and Fisher, your top 3. White flag coming out this time by Calvin McMahon, still up front. The top 3 pulling away from the rest of the field. The fight is for second between Fisher and Colburn. Coming down for the checkered flag, it's Calvin McMahon, followed by Ed Colburn and Jason Fisher coming home. Picking up the heat race win, the 45 of Calvin McMahon. Speedway, the 02 of Josh Weiss, the 10 of Lisa Jones. The 84 of Lee Mealy, The 37 of Greg Copen in the rear of the field. Up front, the 198. Taking the lead, Rick McCroby. Josh Weiss in the 0-2 in second. Copen in the 37, sliding in front of Lisa Jones. Lisa Jones barely making it by. Copen in the 37, setting it a stop, able to get it back underway. Up front, Rick McCroby in the 198, continuing to lead. Josh Weiss in the 0-2 in second, sliding up high. Number 113 of Tracy Rabb. Moving into third, the 71 of Dan Booth. The 198 of Rick McCroby will be black flag for breaking out of his qualifying time. That'll hand the lead over to the 71 of Dan Booth. White flag coming out, 1 lap remaining. Josh Weiss working the bottom side of the track. The 113 of Tracy Rabb moves into second. Booth in the 71 in third. Checkered flag coming out. It's going to be Josh Weiss, followed by Tracy Rabb and the 71 of Dan Booth. The PC Solutions 0-2 of Josh Weiss. Of Randy Mealy. The 110 of Rex McCord. As they get ready for the green flag. Green flag comes out. Jen Mealy up front, the 128. The 128 of Jen Mealy up front, continuing to lead. The 139 of Ron Jones in second. Joe Quinn in the 90 moving into third. Jen Mealy continuing to lead, but the 90 of Joe Quinn working that second groove. Quinn in the 90 going for the lead as they come out of turn number 2. White flag coming out this time by 1 lap remaining. Mealy in the 128 slid up high, backed out of it. The 90 of Quinn takes over the lead. Your winner, the 90 of Joe Quinn, followed by the 139 of Ron Jones. The 191 of Ryan Smith coming home third, and the B&D towing number 90 of Joe Quinn. Of Mike Chapman. The 97 of Tom Boone, the 190. The 125 of John Bruder, the 64 of Johnny Weiss, the 08 of Daryl Heinzman, the 42 of Jim Hollywood Foose Jr. Check out the 64 of Johnny Weiss as he carries the left rear tire through the corners. Vroman in the 81 will take over the lead going into turn number 1. Chapman in the 39 working the outside of Shields. Once again, watch the 64 of Johnny Weiss in 4th place. He'll carry the left rear tire about a foot off the ground at times. Halfway home, 3 laps in, 3 laps remaining. They're going 3 wide, farther back in the pack, but up front, Mark Vroman continuing to lead. White flag coming out this time by 1 lap. Jenny Shields applying the pressure going into turn number 1, right on the rear bumper of Mark Vroman. 3 wide, farther back in the pack, Foose in the 42 making contact with Tom Dupereau. Coming down for the checkered flag. And it's going to be Mark Vroman, followed by Jenny Shields and Mike Chapman in the 39. And Hollywood Foose sitting at a stop in turn number 3 and 4. One of Mark Vroman. The 35 of Dean Bowman. The 51 of Gary Toth. Quinn in the 7 with the lead. Toth in the 51 working the outside. John Quinn continuing to lead. The battle is for 3rd and 4th between Wesley Shaver and the 93 of James Chapman. The 7 continuing to lead. Toth in the 51 in 2nd. Chapman and Shaver trading that position for 3rd and 4th. Chapman trying to take over 3rd as a white flag coming out. 1 lap remaining. for the checkered flag. It's John Quinn, followed by Gary Toth, and the 93 of James Chapman. The heat race win, the number 7 of John Quinn. Part of their heat race. Green flag coming out. The 179 of Steve Jones, followed by the 20 of Chuck East, working the outside groove. The 179 of Steve Jones, your leader. The 28 of Brett Gregory in second. Brian McCall in the 78 in third. Three laps in, 3 laps remaining. White flag coming out, 1 lap remaining. The 78 of Brian McCall trying to reel in Steve Jones to take over first. McCall with a run off of turn 2. McCall drives it hard into turn number 3. Jones slides up the track. McCall working the outside, coming down for the checker flag. It's Steve Jones, followed by Brian McCall and the 28 of Brett Gregory. Picking up the heat race win, the Jones Auto Body number 179 of Steve Jones. Once again, you must finish in the top 6 to transfer on to tonight's feature event. Green flag coming out. The 0-2 of Frank Flynn out front. The field stretching out single file. Next time by, your leader, the 0-2 of Frank Flynn, will be black flag for smoking. The car smoking very heavily from the underside of the car. Gets the black flag. That'll hand the lead over to the 10 of Tim Johnson. Tim Johnson, your leader, goes in the 50 in second. Johnson beginning to pull away. The 116 in the final transfer position. As the white flag comes out, 1 lap remaining. Coming down for the checkered flag, it's Tim Johnson, followed by Dave Mose, Matt Axford, Don Bates, Bob De La Garza, and the 116 getting the final transfer position. The field, a very nice pace as they come out of turn 4. The green flag comes out. Johnston and Allman bring them around. Allman working the second groove with the advantage. Trying to dive hard into turn number 3. Johnston right along the bottom with the lead. Allman sideways off of turn number 4. Allman once again working that outside line, trying to work his way around the 9 of Johnston. Yep, Sparks down the backstretch. Wingett climbs the left rear of Mark Smith. Everybody scattering to miss him. Clinging with some damage to the right front of that number 11. The field beginning to stretch out single file. The man on the move is the 33 of Ron Burkholder. Allman gets into the left rear of Johnston in the 9. They come together. Burkholder up in the third groove trying to make the pass for second. Burkholder on the move. Now Burkholder looks down low under Allman. Burkholder on the bottom takes the lead. Allman sideways. Here comes the 89 of Kenny Bender. Action heating up farther back in the pack. The 89 of Bender slides under the 58 of Allman. Here comes the 88 of Roberts right along with him. And the 8 of Bill Sprague sliding to a stop inside of turn number 4. The 8 of Sprague pulling up to a stop. Completed 13 laps remaining in this 20-lap feature. Ron Burkholder bring him around for the restart. Green flag coming out. Bender in the 89 up in the second groove. Roberts in the 88. Right on the rear bumper of Ron Burkholder. Your top 3 going at it up front as they begin to pull away from the rest of the field. Smith in the 22 and the 1 of Cohagen all come together. Stoutenberg in the 4 sliding into the infield, and Johnston in the 9. Very hard contact with the backstretch wall. Ron Burkholder, Billy Roberts. The 89 of Kenny Bender and the 42 of Dave Martyr. Your top four. Green flag coming back out for the restart. Burkholder with the lead at the line. Burkholder right along the bottom of the track. Bender in the 89, the 88 of Roberts. Burkholder slides up the track, coming off the track for Bender in the 89. Took a look underneath. Bender and Roberts come together going into turn number one. Once again, Bender taking a look underneath. Burkholder continuing to lead. Roberts working the outside groove, going down the backstretch. Roberts beginning to pull up alongside of Burkholder. Burkholder sideways off of four. Roberts able to pull right up alongside. Burkholder once again slides up the speedway. Bender looks underneath. Three wide. They make contact. Bender in the 89. Able to keep it gathered up. Caution coming out for the 89 of Kenny Bender, setting it a stop in turn number four. Farther back in the field between Russ Stoutenberg. Stoutenberg with a right flat front tire. Roberts, Burkholder, Hall in the one of Jimmy Cohagen. Pulls out to about a two-car length advantage. White flag coming out this time by. One more lap for Billy Roberts. Checkered flag coming out. It's Billy Roberts, followed by the 33 of Burkholder, the 37 of Steve Hall, and the 1 of Jimmy Cohagen. Feature winner in the Able Fence Arms Trucking number 88, Billy Roberts. Put your hands together for him one time. Picking up his first feature of the year in the Arms Trucking Able Fence number 88, Billy the Kid Roberts. They weigh 2,300 pounds. They have an excess of 500 horsepower. Getting ready to do battle. 25 laps. They come together in turn number 1. Petrie in the 66 sideways, right in front of the 80 of Page. the 40 of Hennigs beginning to pull away. The 66 of Petrie in second, the 80 of Page in third. In the 40. Hennings continuing to lead up front. The 66 of Petrie. Now Gerken in the 99 going to work on the outside of Page, trying to take over third. Sibla in the 63 is going to come right along with him. Sibla up in the second groove, hooked up. Now going to work on the 99 of Gerken on the outside. Sibla in the 63, working the second groove against Gerken to try and take over third. The 40 of Hennigs beginning to push, beginning to slide up the track. Sibla now working on the 66 of Petrie. They come together farther back in the pack. Coming up on lap number 11, Hennings in the 40, really beginning to push. Sibla in the 63, working that second groove against Petrie. Halfway home. The 34, Willison, trying to work his way up towards the front. Sibla side by side with Hennings down the front stretch. Hennings trying to fight back on the bottom side. Sibla really turning up the heat. Sibla will take over the lead. Now the 99 of Gerken working on the 40 of Hennings. Sibla beginning to pull away from the rest of the field. The 34, Willison, crossed up, coming out of turn 2, loses several positions. Gerken in the 99 will take over second, but Sibla long gone. Comes together with a 40 of Hennings coming out of turn number 4. Meyer unable to get by, coming down for the 5 to go signal. 5 laps remaining. and the 40 of Hennigs to take over third. Up front, it's all Rick Sibla. The 34 Vullison working the outside of Hennigs to take over fourth as the white flag comes out, 1 lap remaining. Coming up for the checkered flag, it's going to be Rick Sibla, followed by Stacy Gerken, Doug Meyer, and the 34 of Mark Willison. Rick Sibla currently second in the points race, 195 points behind Doug Meyer. As he gets unbuckled and climbs out, put your hands together for him. The Bob's Auto Sales Mountain Motors, number 63 of Rick Sibla. Green flag coming out. Wiggins in the 24 working the second groove. Tries to make his way around the 66 of Sanquist. Slides up the track. Back on the gas, trying to work his way. Sanquist slides up. They made contact in between 1 and 2. Wiggins will take over second. Sanquist with the lead. Contact further back in the field between a 5 of Taylor and a 30 of Holt. The 32 of Rosem taking a look underneath of Oliver Allen for third. Comes together, and Rick Gretsch hard into the outside retaining wall. Rosem losing a handle, something coming together. In our 50-50, Linda Hawk from North Royalton taking home $418. You can see the damage of the 84 of Rick Gretsch. Heavy damage to the right front of that automobile. The spindle completely sheared off the right front tire, driven back into the frame. 5 of Paul Adkins. You can see the damage, very similar to the 84 of Rick Gretsch. Definite spindle, lower control arm, upper control arm. Once again, 3 laps have been completed. 22 laps remain in this feature event. Sandquist and Wiggins bring him around for the restart. Rosem in the 32, trying to work his way underneath the 66 of Sandquist. Sandquist with a little bit of a push. Taylor in the 5 works his way underneath the 24 of Wiggins to take over third. The 30 of Volk's going to come right along with him. Now the 5 of Norm Taylor working the outside of the 32 of Rosem as they go into turn number 3. Rosem tucked right under the rear bumper, takes a look under Sandquist. Has to back out going into turn number 1. Rosem once again taking a look underneath. Now the 30 of Brian Volk moves into third. Rosem once again taking a look, has to back out. Rosem working the outside of Sandquist. Rosem drives it hard into turn number 1, makes it stick, takes over the lead, coming out of turn number 2. Volk goes around a 66 of Sandquist. Taylor in the 5 is going to try and follow right along. Coming up on the halfway point. Lawson in a 53, sideways, coming out of 4, able to keep it under control. Up front, though, it's all Phil Rosem. Volk in a 30, trying to reel him in. Rosem in the 32. Continuing to lead. Your top 3 pulling away from the rest of the field. Your top 3 moving under the lap traffic of the 35 of Bobby Johnson. The lap's beginning to wind down. Rosem, Volk, and Taylor, your top 3. Coming up for the 5 to go signal. 5 laps remaining. Up on the lap traffic of Bob Hennigs. Rosem moves underneath Volk. Starting to reel him in. Volk about 2 car lengths behind. This time by, it'll be the white flag. 1 lap remaining. Phil Rosem continuing to lead. Checkered flag for Phil Rosem, followed by Brian Volk, Norm Taylor, and John Sanquist Sr. Auto Wholesalers, driving for Miss Daisy, the 32 of Cleveland's Phil Rosem. Helmet off. Phil Rosem. He is a 9-time track champion, and that will sure tighten things up in the points race with 4 weeks of points remaining. Rosem currently in second with 2,275 points, and Gretsch was the leader with 2,405, but Gretsch going out on lap number 3 in that accident. "20 laps of distance as they come out of turn number 4. Parker and McMahon sideways on the start. Everybody gets by. Reuter in the 17 off the pace at the low side of turn number 3, pulling it into the infield. And a 31 of Steve Sears into the infield in turn number 4. Everybody okay and picking it back up. The 71 of Scott McAbeer, black flag for leaking fluid onto the speedway out of that right rear. Pfeiffer in the 21 working the second groove against the 67 of Newman. The 66 of Axford slow and off the pace in turn number 4. Coming out. The 66 of Matt Axford coming to a stop along the front stretch, losing power to number 66. 6 laps have been completed. 14 laps remain as the green flag comes back out. The 8 of Colburn sliding to a stop. Turn around in turn number 3. It'll be a restart. Some debris going over turn number 3 off of the 8 of Ed Colburn. Colburn able to pull away from the accident. Green flag coming out. Korchnicki in the 07 caught up in the third groove, able to tuck back in behind Marlowe in the 73. Hugh in the 14 crossed up down the front stretch, losing several positions. Parker coming together with the 4 of Don Bate. And the 8 of Ed Colburn off the pace. Coming up on the halfway point. The 67 of Newman continuing to lead. Newman, Eckliff, Schaefer, Fisher, and Pfeiffer in the 21, your top 5. Field single file along the bottom of the speedway. The 10 of Johnson going up in a cloud of smoke in turn number 1. With the 5 left to go, signal coming out this time by. Caution coming out. Caution coming out for the 10 of Tim Johnson. Johnson going up in a cloud of smoke. The driver of the number 17, Rob Reuter, and the 116 coming together afterwards. Newman starting on the pole, continuing to lead after 15 laps. Newman, Eckliff, Schaefer. Eckliff slides high. Newman sideways down the front stretch, comes together with the 18 of Fisher. Coming together with the 40. Everybody able to keep it going. And Pfeiffer in the 21 getting turned around in turn number 4. Steve Dressler in the 52, right flat front tire. Feature event. Hugh in the 14 slides high off the pace. Something happening to the number 14, the car not wanting to turn, shooting up the speedway. Newman in the 67 continuing to lead. Schaefer on the rear bumper. Schaefer taking a look underneath the Newman in the 67. White flag this time by 1 lap remaining. John Newman out front. Schaefer taking a look underneath. Newman stretches it out about a car length advantage down the backstretch. One more corner to try and get it done. It's gonna be John Newman, followed by Paul Schaefer, the 73 of Matt Marlowe, and the 18 of Jason Fisher. For feature win in the Grand National Division. He is out here every Saturday night. He's already got his helmet on, very excited. You saw him come across the line shaking his fist.
His first feature he's ever won.
Who's that guy out there? The Vermilion Paving, Logston & Sons basement waterproofing number 67 of John Newman taking home the feature win. All demo drivers to the pit tower. Getting ready for the green flag start. 12-lap feature. Wesley Shaver in the 2 grabs the lead going into turn number 2. 3 wide down the backstretch. Chuck East up into the 3rd groove. Robert Schaefer in the 5, moving up through the field, currently 4th. Jeremy Halfill in the 36. 3 wheels off, and he is out of the event. Also Ron Jones in the 179. Steve Jones, rather, in the 179, off of the feed. Norm Bevan in the 4, crossed up, coming off of turn 2. The 0 of Tim Greger will take into 4th place. The 93 of James Chapman working the outside of Wesley Shaver. Three wide racing farther back in the pack, but up front it's the 93 of James Chapman with the lead. The 78 of Brian McCall working the 2nd groove coming through the field. Chapman sideways through 1 and 2. McCall working the outside. Gregory in the 0 coming up behind. McCall in the 78. Chapman slides up, makes contact with the left rear. McCall will take over the lead. Now the 0 of Tim Gregory working the 2nd groove to try and go around Chapman. White flag coming out, 1 lap remaining. Brian McCall out front. Heavy racing farther back in the pack. Checkered flag coming out for Brian McCall, followed by Tim Gregory, James Chapman, and here comes the 2 of Wesley Shaver. Picking up the feature event win, the Reed Salvage Jones Auto Body number 78 of Brian McCall. You would never know it from watching these guys race, but they race for trophies. Of Mike Elliott and the 77 of Brad Copen. 12 laps feature event. The 56 of Bruce Bevan takes the lead. Quinn in the 90 working the outside. Roman in the 81 working the outside of Troy Moore to try to take over third. Moore in the 75 gets hit hard from behind. Moves to the inside of the track, and he is off of the speedway. The 39 of Chapman getting turned around in front of Heinzman. Everybody able to keep it underway. The 51 of Gary Toth with a flight right front. Whoa, right in front of it. Very hard contact. Everybody, and we've got them going off. We've got heavy oil. Heavy oil on the speedway. Caution coming out.
Arnie, just get the rate.
The 56 of Bruce Bevan, your leader. The 81 of Mark Vroman on the outside, coming down for the restart.
We'll get back to you.
Green flag coming back out. Bevan getting a good jump. The 56 of Bevan continuing to lead. '64 of Johnny Weiss carrying that left rear tire through the corner. Coming up for the halfway point, 6 laps in, 6 laps remaining. Roman taking a look inside of Bevan. Roman once again taking a look inside of Bevan. They make contact coming out of turn number 2. Bevan driving it hard into turn number 3. The 42 of Jim Foose Jr. coming up on the 81 of Roman. Bevan slides high. Roman will move underneath to take over the lead. Foose in a 42 makes very hard contact. Bevan into that outside retaining wall off the pace, damage to the left front tire. 71 continuing to lead. Foose Jr. in second. Continuing to lead, coming down for the white flag this time. One more lap remaining. Mark Vroman breaking out of his qualifying time. That'll hand the lead over to the 42 of Jim Foose Jr. Jim Foose Jr. in the 42. Gonna pick up the checkered flag. Followed by the 77 of Brad Copen, the 7 of John Quinn. Jim Foose Jr. Put your hands together for him. I believe he just turned 16 years old, and this is his first ever feature win. Sponsored by Trackside Video, AAA Axle, and Race Fanatic. This is not a joke. That automobile was painted about 2 months ago in the parking lot on a Saturday morning before racing started. Front wheel drive Demolition Derby. The flagman holding him down. Green flag comes out. The 194 goes to the outside. Bill Evans in that 194 going up to the third groove. Rex McCord also up in the third groove. McCord up high, sideways in front of the rest of the field, losing several positions. Josh Weiss in the 02 is going to take over the lead coming out of turn number 2. Here comes Dale Murphy in the 88. And the 113 of Tracy Rabb along the bottom. Copen in the 37 sideways. And whoa, this 171 sideways in front of the field. And we got them coming together. Your guess is as good as mine on what just happened. I have no clue. Josh Weiss, the leader in the 02, the 113 of Tracy Rabb out front. Rabb trying to reel in Josh Weiss, the 194 of Bill Evans up high in turn number 1. Check out coming through the field. She's currently in 5th, the 116 of Rhonda Holstein. Holstein coming from deep in the field, moving her way up through. Josh Weiss continuing to lead in the 02. Tracy Rabb in the 113. Dan Booth in the 71 going to the outside of Steve Blevins. Now Rhonda Holstein trying to work her way under Dan Booth to take over 4th. Coming up on the halfway point, 6 laps in, 6 laps remain. Rabb in the 113, working the outside of Josh Weiss. Rhonda Holstein moves into fourth, trying to work her way around Steve Blevins, but here comes Ron Jones in the 139. Of Rex McCord, black flag. He was in the infield. Your leader, the 02 of Josh Weiss, will be black flag for breaking out of his qualifying time. Weiss right in front of the two automobiles coming down. The 139 of Ron Jones, your new leader. Rhonda Holstein going to work on Dan Booth in the 71. Holstein takes over third with 1 lap remaining. Ron Jones out front. Tracy Rabb in the 113. Rhonda Holstein trying to move into the top two. Trying to work her way around Tracy Rabb in the 113. Checkered flag coming out. It's going to be Ron Jones. Tracy Rabb, Rhonda Holstein, and Dan Booth in the 71. Picking up the feature win, the Jones Auto Body, number 139 of Ron Jones. Coming up next, the front wheel drive Demolition Derby.
Gonna slide right through into turn number 1.
Get more milk. It's a thankless job, even though there are no
What do we got here?
Jam or count.
We got a Honda Accord.
Smith Dairy and WGAR have an easy way for you to move on up closer to the stars. Like Kenny Chesney and Pam
A smashed up.
It's the Smith Dairy Super Seats.
I don't know.
From either the 14 or 16 ounce Movers milk products. Available at area BP Connect stores. Bring them to the WGAR Country Jam along with your general admission.
He's applying for the Hollywood Stunt Show. We apologize for the low turnout in the demo cars, but with the threatening weather in the area, a lot of the demo drivers didn't come out tonight. Hang on, before we start these up, we got 1 import out there and 2 American cars. Who wants to see him plain outright beat the crap out of that little Japanese red car? How many Ford workers are here tonight? All right, we're gonna need you guys' help before we get them started here. We need you to count backwards from 3. Are you ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go! Uh-oh, this could leave a mark. Well, he's got a right front tire, and this could leave a bigger mark. Oh! Oh! It was a Plymouth Acclaim, but it looks more like a Dodge Omni now. And I think the Honda, no, it's still, is he done? Check out the back wheels on the 128. They're locked up. He can't even move them, but he's still trying. Check out the back wheels on the 143. They're locked up. And here he comes. You gotta love it. Uh-oh. Oh! Come on. Come on, guys. Team up on him. He's sitting there. Take a cheap shot. It's the best shot. Oh, and the Honda's back in the action. How many think the 143 is going to win? How many think the 128? How many think the little red Honda? How many don't care? They just want to see them beat the crap out of each other. Uh-oh. We need somebody motion to this guy to come down here and turn one, line it up, and just stand on it. Put it to the wood until he gets down here and take them both out. Check out the right front tire on the Honda. Yeah! The little Honda's still running. Did anybody tell these guys that tomorrow morning they're going to hurt? You got the idea. Oh, he can't steer it. And the chase is on. Uh-oh, 143 got it fired back up. He's running, he's grinding, but it's not going anywhere. Since they kind of quit simultaneously, we need you guys' help on this one. Who says the little red car won? Who says the 143 won? 143 it is. Dean Bowman, your winner. Once again, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out this Saturday night. Next Saturday night, True Value Hardware, the autograph night. Cars and Stars of Lorain County Speedway on the track at 6:30 sharp. A lot of nice stuff for the kids. A lot of real nice autograph pictures, balloons, candy. A lot of these drivers go all out to show their appreciation for the kids. Then on Saturday, September the 1st, NASCAR Weekly Racing Series presented by Mullinax Ford, plus the main event Super Late Model Series here at Lorain County Speedway.